everyone, and welcome to Roundtable. I am Vinny Close, Assistant Council Commissioner for Roundtable Program and Support for Great Trail Council, and we're happy that you've joined us tonight. We have a lot of information to share with you over the next hour, so let's start like we always do with the Pledge of Allegiance, Scout Oath, and Scout Law.
Those in uniform, please salute. Those who are not, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
We want your Scouts from your unit to lead us in the Pledge, Scout Oath, and Scout Law. If you're interested, if your Scouts are interested, let us know in the chat, and we'll contact you after the broadcast to make arrangements. We'd love to have your Scouts be on. We want to welcome those of you that have joined us online. We're happy that you've joined us tonight. Now, to help us track attendance, share your unit number and city in the live chat. And if you have any questions during the broadcast, let us know, and we'll get them answered either in the chat or here live on air. Our Council Commissioner is standing by, ready to help. Now, if you have questions about something you've seen during Roundtable, whether it's this episode or a previous one, or you just have a scouting question and you don't know who else to ask, let us know. We have a very simple form that we've created. It's only got a couple questions on it. It goes directly to me, and we'll get your question or problem answered. You can see the address to that form right there below. It's gtcscouting.org/help. And we may even use your question in a future episode, potentially even a future topic. On February 8th, this coming Sunday, it will be Scout Anniversary Day, where we celebrate the 116th anniversary of our founding all the way back in 1910. It also happens to be the traditional day for Scout Sunday. Now, while units can observe Scout Sunday now on any day in February that makes sense for them and their chartered organization, the Scout Sunday nearest to February 8th is the day traditionally shared or used to observe this event. Now, we have some notes and some observances that were shared to me from Ed Martin, who is the chair for our council's Religious Relationships Committee. So, Ed tells us, for those that weren't aware of the Scout Sunday event, its purpose or its timing, it's a reminder that this is an annual event that could and should be considered by units every year. February 8th is the 116th anniversary of the founding of the Boy Scouts of America, also doing business now as Scouting America. One of the reasons for celebrating the Blue and Gold Banquet for Cub Scouts in February is to remember this event. Remember, we talked about this last month at our Cub Roundtable. The Blue and Gold Banquet is a birthday party to celebrate the birthday of Scouting. It is also an opportunity to thank God for the good deeds performed by an English Scout and James West, who was inspired too by that unknown Scout in that London fog and his good deed to bring that Scouting program to America. The opportunity allows us to practice our duty to God and to publicly thank Him and all those who have contributed to supporting the ideals of Scouting through the years. Packs, troops, crews, and ships can also show their gratitude by participating in a religious service as a unit on this day or one near it. So that prompted a question that I had back to Ed, which was, not every unit is chartered to a church. Obviously, if you're chartered to a church, it makes things easier. But if you're not, what do you do? So that was my question to Ed. Also, what if your family is not a member of that church or happens to be a different religion than what the church is for your chartered organization? So Ed's response was this: units and families can celebrate Scout Sunday at any place of worship. If not their chartered organization, then possibly the church to which they belong or otherwise have a relationship. We know that some units meet at a church. Some families are members of a church. These connections can help to get approval from the religious leader to worship together in uniform as a unit. We would just recommend clearing it in advance with the religious leader, especially if you wish to participate, reserve seating, or have a large group attending, and be sure to thank them afterward. This is a good opportunity to strengthen whatever relationship there is to start or build a new one. We're doing that at the chartered organization for my troops and pack. We're going to be part of 9:30 Sunday morning Mass. Scouts will be greeters. There'll be servers on the altar. They'll be helping bring up the offering, doing a lot of stuff within the Mass. Plus, we'll have a section saved within the church for us to all be in. Now, Ed does have a couple personal examples that he wants to share. Ed's unit is chartered to a Catholic church, and most of the Scouts and their families are members of the church, but not all. Now, the unit has requested that the noon Mass on the 8th be when the Scouts would attend in uniform with their families as a group with pews reserved. In addition, the pastor will take some time to present the religious emblems earned by the Cub Scouts this past year in front of the congregation. Among those receiving awards is a non-Catholic with no established church affiliation. We're going to be doing the same thing at our Mass for our troop and pack. We have some Scouts that will be receiving their religious awards from the pastor during their Mass. Now, Ed also has a grandson whose pack is chartered to a Presbyterian church, but he regularly attends a Methodist church. The pack had scheduled Scout Sunday for last Sunday, February 1st, and got permission to participate in various roles. His grandson instead preferred to attend his regular service at the Methodist church, and the pastor said he could wear his uniform to the service in recognition of Scout Sunday. So, this Sunday is the traditional Scout Sunday observance. You can do it any Sunday or any day of the month of February that you wish. There is no more the requirement that it has to be the Sunday nearest to February 8th anymore. All right. Let's talk now about some changes to advancement, which became effective on January 1st. Now, while there were no changes to rank requirements for Scouts BSA, there were a number of requirements for merit badges. Now, there are too many of them to cover them all here, since the entire list is 38 pages long. All of the changes can be found on our roundtable page at gtcscouting.org/roundtable. We have a link there with the lists of everything that has changed. But here are some of the highlights. Some of the key updates include updated career exploration requirements. Many merit badges now feature expanded career exploration options that help Scouts research real-world job opportunities, understand education requirements, and explore how Scouting skills connect to future careers or hobbies. These updated requirements encourage Scouts to think about how their interests might shape their future. Merit badges have been updated also to reflect current technology, safety practices, and knowledge. For example, radio merit badge now covers cell phones, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and RFID technology. Digital technology now includes QR codes and barcodes. Safety has been expanded to include online safety, safeguarding youth, and travel safety. Traffic safety addresses distracted driving and modern vehicle safety features. And citizenship in the nation, the requirement where you have to write a member of Congress, now permits any correspondence method, including email, which is something that our elected officials prefer for correspondence. You're going to get it there much faster than you will if you send it through traditional U.S. Postal Service, or as we like to call it, snail mail. There's some cleaner requirements. Many of the badges feature reorganized or clarified requirements to make them easier to understand and complete. In many cases, the requirement itself did not change, just the wording. Emergency preparedness, for example, moved first aid to be the last requirement in the list to emphasize that it is not a prerequisite. There were no changes made, just a move. Now, question becomes, with these merit badge changes, how does it work if one of my Scouts has already started work on the merit badge? So, according to the Guide to Advancement, section 7.0.4.3, Scouts who began working on a merit badge on or after January 1st, 2026 must use the new requirements. But if a Scout started a merit badge prior to January 1st, 2026, they may continue using the previous requirements until the merit badge is completed, or they may choose to switch to the new requirements. It's up to them. Now, this flexibility ensures that Scouts can complete their work without unnecessary frustration, while giving them the option to engage with the updated content if they prefer. All right. Now, one other big change that's happening for 2026 to help commemorate our country's 250th birthday this July, all Scouts who earn the rank of Eagle in 2026 will receive a special America 250 Eagle Scout certificate. This certificate will automatically be sent out to all Eagles whose Board of Review date was in 2026, starting on February 1st. Now, for Scouts who earned Eagle in January of 2026, you can contact your council to receive a free replacement certificate with the America 250 logo on it, just like you see on screen there. That is a copy of the certificate that an Eagle Scout will receive if they earn it at any time during 2026. You'll see the America 250 logo there right above the Eagle medal. Now, we know many of you like to collect Eagle certificates. There's lots of collectors out there that do this. Anybody else that would like an Eagle certificate, you can purchase one with your name and Eagle date and everything on it through the Scout Shop website for $5. And that's the case for anybody at any time. If you lose your Eagle certificate, if you lose your pocket card that you get when you earn Eagle, you can go on to the Scout Shop website and you can request replacement credentials. You just need to provide the information, your name, your council, your date of Eagle, all that fun stuff, and you can get a replacement certificate or pocket card. Also, if you need a National Eagle Scout Association certificate, you can get one of those as well from there. All right, it's time now for our safety moment, and for this month, we're going to talk about hiking safety. Hiking is a great way to spend time in the outdoors and can be a good way to get into better shape for more strenuous activities. Hikes can range in length from covering just a short distance to the 20-mile hike that's required for hiking merit badge. Some hikes can be maintained on trails that are relatively flat. Others are on rough terrain that is physically demanding. Regardless of how long a hike is, it's important to be prepared. So some general info on this. Decide where you will go and review the route on a map. Is your hike within your capabilities? Are you prepared for the terrain? Ensure that all youth have at least one buddy to hike with. We always do the buddy system in scouting. It's just the same as it is on trails. Everyone should have a buddy, and it makes it more fun too. If you happen to have an odd number of scouts, you can do the triples, or what we call truddies, where you can have a buddy group of 3 if you need to. Always let someone know where you are going, when you are leaving, and when you will return, plus what trail you plan to take. That will ensure that if something goes awry on the hike, someone will know that you haven't returned and can alert authorities if needed. You want to review the weather for your hiking area. Will it be sunny, raining, or snowing? Windy or calm? Or, being Northeast Ohio, you could have all 3 in a 30-minute stretch. You never know. Plan accordingly, including considering postponing the hike if the weather is especially inclement. And finally, bring the age-appropriate Scout Basics essentials with you. Doing so will help you be prepared for most situations that might arise. So, what are those 10 essentials for Scouts? A pocket knife or multi-tool, first aid kit, extra clothing, rain gear, a flashlight or headlamp, trail food, water. Staying hydrated is essential. Regardless of whether it's a hot or cold day, you still need to keep hydrated. Matches and fire starters, sun protection, because sunburns can even happen on cloudy days or in the winter. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten sunburned doing skiing when you think it's wind, but it's really from the sun. And a map and compass. All right. Up next is our safety moment, and we're going to talk about parent engagement helping with retention. Are you eager to boost parent involvement in Scouting activities? Did you know that parent involvement will also help enhance your membership retention? So here's a strategic approach to rally more parent volunteers and keep your families active in Scouting. First up, identify opportunities. Engage parents in various aspects of your unit activities, from organizing events to assisting with merit badges or den meetings. Their involvement fosters a sense of community and belonging, which in turn increases youth retention. Start with small tasks like bringing potato chips. Next, spread the word. Emphasize to parents how their involvement positively impacts their child's Scouting journey and strengthens the unit as a whole. A stronger unit serves their child. Highlight the connection between active parent participation and higher levels of youth engagement and satisfaction. Provide support and training. Offer resources and training to parents new to volunteering. By equipping them with the tools and knowledge that they need, you empower them to contribute effectively, boosting their confidence and commitment to staying involved. Recognize and appreciate. Publicly recognize and appreciate parent volunteers for their contributions. Celebrate their efforts at unit meetings, special events, a court of honor, or a PAC meeting to reinforce their value and encourage continued participation. And finally, keep evolving. Continuously assess and adapt your approach to parent engagement based on feedback and unit dynamics. As parents become more involved, they not only support their child's Scouting journey, but also strengthen the overall unit experience for everyone, leading to higher membership retention rates. We know this for a fact. Strong units have strong parental involvement. By prioritizing parent involvement, you'll build a thriving Scouting community where every member feels supported, valued, and eager to continue their journey. Let's work together to make Scouting an unforgettable experience for all. All right, time now for our first of two hot topics for tonight, and we're going to have some training for you regarding youth-led leadership. This is one of the cornerstones of our older Scout programs, Scouts BSA, Venturing, and Sea Scouts, being led by the youth. We're going to be sure to make sure that we're there so they don't blow something up, but it's also up to us to make sure that they're properly trained to be able to effectively run the program. This is especially important if you are working with a troop full of new, inexperienced Scouts, or if you as a leader might be new to the program. Presenting tonight's video from the National Council is Garfield Murden, National Director of Scouts BSA.
Train them, trust them, let them lead. It's more than a phrase. It's a challenge. And for some, it's a shift in mindset. In Scouts BSA, youth leadership is one of the 8 official methods of Scouting. This is what sets our movement apart. Real leadership by young people in real situations. You've probably heard this motto before, maybe even quoted it. But let's be honest. It's a lot easier to say that than do it. Because trusting a 13-year-old to run a meeting, plan a campout, or guide their peers, that takes courage, patience, and a whole lot of letting go. But when we do it right, when we train them, trust them, and let them lead, something amazing happens. We don't just see growth in rank, we see growth in character, in confidence, in responsibility. The kind of growth that sticks with them long after they leave Scouting and become leaders in their community. So how do we do it well? Let's break it down and start with train them. Too often, we expect Scouts to lead before we've shown them how. Just like you wouldn't throw them into the wilderness without a map, you can't toss them into leadership without training. Training might look like teaching the agenda of a patrol leaders council, showing how to delegate jobs at a campout, or modeling how to run a flag ceremony with clarity and confidence. And remember, training doesn't have to be in a classroom lecture. It happens side by side during troop meetings, doing PLCs, doing those in-between moments when they're watching how you lead. And it follows the EDGE method: explain, demonstrate, guide, and enable. Like learning to tie a knot, you show them, then you guide them, then you step back and let them teach someone else. Leadership works the same way. Next up, trust them. Now this is tough. You've trained them, you've coached them, and now you let go. It's hard to watch them struggle or even fail. It's hard to stay quiet when the plan's not perfect. But this is where the leadership is forged. When you trust a scout with real responsibility, you're saying, I believe in you. And that's belief, that vote of confidence, can change everything. Yes, they might forget a duty roster. They might overcook the chili. They might stumble through the announcements, but that's okay. Because trust doesn't mean we abandon them. It means we're right there on the sidelines, cheering, guiding, and only stepping in if safety or values are at risk. Remember, growth doesn't happen in our shadow. It happens in the light we give them to shine. Finally, let them lead. This is where it all comes together. Scouting is one of the few places left where young people get to make real decisions with real outcomes, where they're not just passengers but drivers. When we let them lead, we give them a safe space to experiment, to problem solve, and to become the leaders we know they can be. And leading doesn't just mean wearing the SBL patch. It could mean mentoring a new scout, organizing a hike, planning a troop game, or standing up to say, hey, that's not how we treat each other. Every time we let them lead, we're telling them, you matter. Your voice counts. You are capable. That's powerful stuff. So what does this mean for us as adult leaders? It means we are not here to do the job for them. We're here to do the job with them until they can do it without us. It means we create an environment where mistakes are seen as part of the process, where leadership is earned, not assigned. It means letting go of your own need for perfection and embracing the glorious, messy, awkward, and awesome beauty of youth-led growth. Every scout deserves the chance to lead in a meaningful way, not just the loud ones, not just the confident ones, every scout. So here's your challenge. Have you trained them? Do you trust them? Are you truly letting them lead? Because the more we let go, the more they grow. Remember, we're not just building scouts. We're building future leaders. Let's train them, let's trust them, and let's let them lead. Thank you for all you do to support your youth in scouting. Now please, take a few minutes to discuss the questions on the screen, and I'll see you next time.
not sure what happened there, but we are back. I believe I was in the moment of introducing Jericho Johnson, the course director for our council's National Youth Leadership Training, also known as NYLT, who's going to talk about what it is and why your youth should be attending. Jericho, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Vinny.
This is a return visit for you. You were here some months ago to talk about some other topics, but let's talk about NYLT. First of all, what is it?
So NYLT is a premier leadership training program for our Scouts BSA youth. It's a week-long course where they are immersed in learning leadership skills and reinforcing the patrol method of scouting. It's a hands-on by learning, it's a hands-on by doing course. They are going to learn reinforcement of the patrol method. They're going to learn about their personal leadership style and how to manage conflict and how to lead others. And the skills that they'll learn at NYLT will help them not only in their troop, but in their personal lives as well. And the course is run by our youth. So our former NYLT participants become our NYLT staff. So this is actually kind of the model of a troop. It is a youth-led training course for our patrols of participants, and the adults are there to lead, to mentor and guide them through the process. But the youth do the training in patrols and in the troop model, just like you're supposed to run your troop.
And so and we've both been through Wood Badge, so this I'll often hear a lot of times that this is Wood Badge for youth because it's kind of following that same. You're following the patrol method. You're doing elections and learning about all the different positions. So, are all the positions held by participants, or I mean, like, is the SPL a participant or a staff member, for example?
As a participant,
yeah.
If you're, regardless of your position in your troop,
right.
When you're at NYLT, you're in a patrol, so you will have a chance to be a patrol leader, a scribe, and a quartermaster throughout the course. They rotate those each day. Throughout every day, everybody gets a different chance.
So talk about, so this is a 6-day, 5-night course, if my math is right.
Yes.
What are they doing then throughout each day?
So on a typical day, they're going to have, of course, we're feeding them meals. They have morning assembly out on the parade field. They're going to have then a mix of troop presentations. Okay. Some of those are indoors. Some of those are going to be games and activities outdoors. And the games are very well designed to teach them leadership concepts. And then there's going to be separate presentations within their patrol site in small group presentations. There are some competitions and things like that. We have evening campfires. It's a very full week. Okay. And it does model, so NYLT models what is considered a month in a troop. So you have 3 troop meetings leading up to your weekend camp out each month, which we call the outdoor experience, where they will pack up their patrol site and their tents and everything and move to a different area of camp and do backpacking meals and things like that on that night.
Okay. So this is held out at Camp Stambaugh.
Yes.
It is, I think we've got
so this
slide
year,
for that.
Yep, we're back to the week-long course, which I know is going to make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, because last year it was split over 2 weekends, and didn't go over all that well, if I recall.
So it's June 7th, Sunday,
Train
7th
them,
through Friday,
trust
June
them,
12th
let them
Stambaugh.
lead. It's more than a phrase. It's a challenge.
We start around noon on that Sunday, and we get done about 6 or 6:30 p.m. on that Friday evening. We close out with a feast banquet and an awards ceremony for them to get their patch and their neckerchief and certificate.
And I know that you invite the participants' unit leaders to come out,
Yes.
because I've gone out
Yes.
for that.
Unit leaders are encouraged to come out for that ceremony and dinner. so that they can recognize their youth and learn about what they've been doing that week. But typically, every youth who takes NYLT is going to leave that course reinvigorated and have all kinds of ideas. We teach them things that they may have been doing the patrol method well in their unit, or they may not have been doing it so well, and they learn a lot about that, and they usually leave that course with lots of ideas of how to make things better back in their unit. And then those participants frequently come back on staff. So we have a 28-member youth staff this year, and 40% of them are first-time staffers who took NYLT last year and are excited to be on staff.
And I know one thing that we'll get out of it is they will definitely come away hoarse, because I remember the Scouts that one of the time I visited, he could barely talk, but
there's a lot of singing, there's a lot of skits, there's a lot of fun, and probably
it was
a lot of
fun. Yeah, a lot of yelling, and he definitely came back hoarse, but loved every minute of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's important to point out that this is the way that Scouting wants you to run your troop and your patrol, which may not necessarily be the way that your troop currently does it.
Right.
But you're going to learn, I don't know if saying the proper way is the right thing to do, but it's the way that the program wants you to run your troop.
Absolutely. We talk about the youth-led program, but that doesn't mean we just let the youth make every decision and just go out there with a wing and a prayer.
Right.
We as adult leaders and in the NYLT program, we mentor them through that process so that they know what leading is and what formulating plan, what that looks like to put together a plan for activities and adventures. They don't just wake up one day knowing how to do that.
Exactly.
They have to be taught. Just like we send them to school, in Scouting, we're there, the adults are there to teach them how to lead. Yeah,
and that the video that played just before this, before we came on, that Garfield was talking about, it's some of the same stuff that we learn at Wood Badge. Teach them, train them, let them lead.
Absolutely.
And the same thing applies at the youth level, because, like you said, they weren't born. We talk about born leaders, but really they all got training, even the ones that we think were born leaders. And this is another one of those cases where we teach them how to become leaders.
Right. So I'd love to have every Scout in Great Trail come out this June for the course. Scouts need to be 13 years old or older and first class
or higher.
They need to have some camping experience, because they will camp in their tent in a patrol site. They will do some cooking. They'll cook their dinner. We provide them lunch and breakfast and lunch in the dining hall, and they'll cook as a patrol in their patrol site for dinner.
And they have to, we got the slide up on screen here. So 13 or older, first class or higher. They have to have completed ILST training, which is Introduction to Leadership Skills for Troops.
Yes.
And explain what that is for a minute, because that's...
So ILST is a introductory course to some leadership skills.
Okay.
It's a course that troops should be running every year or every time that they do elections. They elect a new patrol leaders, new senior patrol leader staff. They should be running that course. It is designed to be run within your troop.
And it's designed to be run by the senior patrol leader typically, right?
Yes. The Scoutmasters and the senior patrol leader work together to run that course.
Okay.
In Great Trail Council, we do also typically offer that as a council-run course once a year, and we're still coordinating that. That'll be on the website probably in May. The course will be in May. We're going to get that on the website when we get the date finalized.
Okay, if we can bring the slide back up real quick, just so we can talk for a second. So the fee to attend, it's $330 if you pay by May 2nd. That's the early bird fee, and then it goes up to $360 after May 2nd. And we do want to point out, financial aid is available. There is a scholarship fund for both NYLT and Wood Badge. So if you think that finances might be an obstacle to your Scouts participating, there is some financial assistance that is available.
Yes, we have.
And if you have questions, you can go there. But we have a question here. Sherry Buck, I'm going to look over to you. Do you have a question?
Yes, there's a question in the chat, Jericho, and the question is, will the NYLT patrols be mixed together? Be mixed gender.
Will they be
Sorry.
mixed gender? But you're running separate courses, right?
Well, so okay, so what they're asking about is the brand new family troop model that National just approved for units. The new syllabus just came out January 30th that does include the family troop model. We're actually in the process of evaluating that and still deciding. It's not required in 2026. It's required to be that way in 2027. We're evaluating that at this time because we started this course and recruited our staff and our SPLs before that was approved.
Right.
So we have yet to make that decision.
I would guess too that possibly attendance numbers might factor into that as well, if there might not be enough.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
one or the other,
I mean, yeah, typically our last couple of years, we've had a dozen to 15 young ladies attend NYLT. So that does affect how we do the course sometimes. But our senior patrol leaders, which are third and fourth year staffers, our senior patrol leaders for the course are discussing that. And the adult leaders are going to be making that decision with them within the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Any other questions, Sherry, over there? She's scanning the chat.
No, we are good for now. There's just a statement.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see there, if you do have any other questions, once we're done, you can see there right at the bottom of the screen, NYLT at gtcscouting.org. You can also go to the website that was on the slide we just showed, gtcscouting.org/NYLT, and that will take you to more information about the event as well as a link for the registration.
And the scholarship.
And the scholarship. Yes, I was just about to ask that. What is the deadline for the scholarship? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yes, I believe the deadline is that May 2nd date. I have to double check, but it's on that page, on the NYLT page on the GTC Scouting website.
Those in uniform, please salute.
But
those who are not, put your right hand over your...
The scholarship can fund up to half of the cost of attendance.
Okay. Okay. All right. Last check. Any other questions on the chat, Sherry, before we go? She's shaking her head no. So,
all right.
All right. Jericho Johnson is the course director for this summer's NYLT training. Jericho, thank you. You'll be back a little later on tonight to talk about some other training stuff. But right now it's time for our second hot topic, and it's all about planning a high adventure trip. Now, while many units will plan high adventure trips to one of our 4 national high adventure bases, Philmont, the Summit, Northern Tier, or Sea Base, many more units plan their own high adventure trips. This training will help you with tips and tricks on how to plan that awesome adventure with your unit. Garfield Murden is back with this video presentation.
Planning a Scouts BSA high adventure trip requires careful consideration and an organization to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for all participants involved. Here are 12 steps to help you plan your own high adventure. 1. Consider factors such as location, interest, available activities, duration, and budget. Remember that it is called high adventure for a reason. Do something that Scouts would not normally experience. 2. Determine the dates for your high adventure trip, taking into account school schedules, holidays, and availability of participants and leaders. 3. Recruit youth members and adult leaders who are interested in participating in high adventure. Ensure that all participants meet the age and skill requirements for the chosen destination. See the Guide to Safe Scouting for more information on age skill requirements. It is worth noting that sometimes units decide to have their own rank age requirements. After establishing qualifications, you then should hold interest meetings to provide information on the adventure and ensure any questions are answered. Sometimes units decide to have their own rank age requirements. 4. Provide participants with the necessary training and preparation for the specific activities they will be undertaking during the high adventure. This may include backpacking, canoeing, sailing, rock climbing, wilderness first aid, and leave no trace training. 5. Compile a list of required gear and equipment for the high adventure, such as camping gear, personal clothing, safety equipment, and any specialized gear needed for specific activities. 6. Arrange transportation to and from your destination. Consider logistics such as travel time, distance, mode of transportation, and any necessary permits or reservations. Make sure all time requirements are planned for in advance. According to the Guide for Safe Scouting, a person can only drive for 8 hours a day. 7. Obtain any required permits, reservations, or permissions for camping, activities, and travel at the chosen destination. Be aware of any regulations or restrictions that may apply to your trip, including burn bans, closed routes, and flooding. 8. Develop a safety plan and risk management procedures for the high adventure. This includes emergency protocols, communication plans, and medical considerations. Ensure that all participants are aware of the safety procedures and guidelines. Do not forget to make sure parents have all of the needed information as well. 9. Create a budget for the high adventure trip, including costs for transportation, permits, purchase or rental of gear, food, and any other expenses. Consider fundraising options to offset costs for participants. 10. Collect and organize necessary documentation and paperwork for the high adventure, such as medical forms, permission slips, waivers, and emergency contact information. Keep copies of important documents readily accessible during the trip. Please be advised that for any scouting trip exceeding a duration of 72 hours, it is imperative to obtain Health Form Part C for all participating scouts and scouters. Part C of the Health Form entails documentation that necessitates completion and signature by a qualified medical provider. This form is vital to ensure the safety and well-being of all individuals engaged in the high adventure. 11. Maintain open communication with participants, leaders, parents, and other stakeholders throughout the planning process. Provide regular updates and reminders about trips, details, requirements, and expectations. 12. After the high adventure trip, conduct a debriefing session with participants and leaders to evaluate the experience, identify successes and challenges, and gather feedback for future trips. Document lessons learned and best practices for future planning. By following these steps and carefully planning each aspect of the BSA High Adventure, you can ensure a rewarding and memorable experience for everyone involved. And thank you for all you do for Scouting.
All right, thank you, Garfield. Now, even though it's cold and snowy outside, it'll be summer before you know it, and that means summer camp is right around the corner. We have John Judge with us. John is the camp commissioner for our Camp Manatoc Scouts BSA summer camp this year, and he's here to talk about what's new for 2026, because there's a lot of stuff that's new, and why your unit should make Camp Manatoc part of its summer plans. So, John, welcome.
Thanks, Benny.
Thanks for coming out. So, we've got a lot of new changes this year to the program. We have a new camp director.
We do?
We do.
Al Fazenbaker.
Al Fazenbaker, which that is the last time we will say that in his name because everybody knows him by Faze.
Everybody knows him by Faze.
Nobody calls him Al or Al Fazenbaker. It's Faze. So.
And he's new in that role,
he
has been around camp a long time.
He
was on camp staff in the 70s, has a lot of good experience there. Mm-hmm. More recently, though, he's known for really upgrading our nature program and our environmental science program, as well as working with that SCAT team to really upgrade our trails.
Yeah,
so he's done a lot for the camp already, and now he's doing even more as camp summer camp director.
Yeah, if it's been a while since you've been out to Manatoc to hike the trails, you owe it to yourself to go back out because they are greatly improved. The marking, it's well marked now. You don't have to worry about getting lost somewhere in the middle of the yellow trail or anything like that. They've improved the pathways so that you don't have a lot of those obstacles before. So lots of great stuff there. So let's talk about summer camp.
Okay.
A lot of new stuff that's happening in addition to our camp director. You've got some stuff. So let's talk about first, we've got a lot of new merit badges. 67 merit badges in total that are going to be offered this year. Of those, 23 are new, and we also have 3 of the test lab merit badges. So talk about all these new merit badges that we got.
Yeah, so a variety of things are happening that bring new merit badges to us, and this is all being led by Luke Koloski, our program director, who's back for a second year as program director, but he's been around a long time too.
Yes, he has.
And he's on a path of continuously improving the program. And so we've got some new merit badges. The test lab badges are things that Scouting America has introduced. They're in the areas of physics, sewing and needlepoint, as well as dance. And we'll be trying those out at summer camp. In addition, of course, we've got the new construction out at camp, the Trade Center.
The Skilled Trades
and
Education
that
Center.
comes with a great opportunity to introduce merit badges we couldn't offer before.
Yeah, so basically the building trades merit badges you're going to be offering through the Skilled Trade Center, right?
We will. So we've got new facilities, new tools, and we've recruiting people to help teach those. And it's things like welding and woodworking and electronics and electricity, and there's
plumbing,
some other ones.
Yeah, a lot of those.
So a lot of them come from that. And then another place we've added merit badges is to go along with our theme, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yep.
But as you might guess, there are some great merit badges around America and American history that we'll be offering this year too.
And for those of you that are wondering, what is this test lab that we're speaking of? So Scouting America is working on doing some pilot projects to see if some merit badges might be good to offer as merit badges. So they're offering them in this pilot test lab environment to try out the merit badges, looking for feedback from the scouts to find out, what do you think of this? Do we need to make any changes or improvements? The nice thing about it is, if one of these test lab badges gets to be approved later on as an actual merit badge, your scout will retroactively have earned that merit badge. So that's a little nice bonus for them. This is the second year that we've done test lab merit badges, right? We did this.
Yes,
last
we did some
year as
before.
well.
And by the way, the scouts have a lot of impact and influence on whether the test labs become real merit badges,
Right.
because it's their feedback in surveys that help Scouting America decide
Absolutely.
whether to move forward.
Yeah, and one of the complaints we've heard it for years is that we don't offer enough merit badges out of camp. So 67 is a nice healthy number, and that puts us above the average for summer camps in the area as far as number of merit badges offered. So hopefully that will be a big help and a big attraction for scouts wanting to come. Let's talk for a minute about the schedule. The schedule is changing. Talk about this new block scheduling and what does that mean for participants.
Okay, so we're going to block scheduling, which has been tried successfully at other camps. Essentially, there are 2-hour blocks throughout each day, so it gives you a bit more time in merit badge classes, a little less time tromping around camp to get from class to class. A little more time.
That was a complaint.
It is, and another thing is it gives you more time to complete a task, to get through things. Merit badges will be offered on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And some classes only take 1 block, some take 2 days, some take all 4 days. It depends on the merit badge, and that's all explained in our guide to camp.
Right.
But it does allow us to teach better. Now, what it also allows us to do is open up Wednesdays.
That's right. Yeah, I've coined the name. You can run with it. I won't charge you for copyright. I'm calling it Wide Open Wednesdays. I know you guys are calling it Adventure Wednesdays. But it's basically a day where you'll have the ability to do some exploring, relaxing, whatever you want to do. Now, to be clear, it doesn't mean that nothing is going to be happening at camp, right?
Exactly the opposite.
There's going to be tons of things going on. It just may not necessarily be those blocks of merit badges that you're working on, but there's going to be there's going to be one day merit badges is one thing, but go ahead and explain
there's one day merit badges. There's plenty of programming offered by our staff. the one-day merit badges. There's also the out trips that we've had in the past, things like kayaking, things like hiking in the Cauga Valley National Park, which we're blessed to have a camp surrounded by a national park.
We are the
Let's
only,
go hike in it.
The only camp in America that is inside a national park.
That's right. There'll be opportunities to go take climbing. There'll be an opportunity to go to Zalays as part of a hike, which, if you haven't been there, is a great farm market in the national park. We also have things that maybe you haven't been able to try before, like advanced forging or stand-up paddleboarding down at the lake. Those will be added. And then in addition to that, if a troop wants to do something as a unit, we have a set of suggestions and arrangements made so that troops can look for trips maybe a little farther afield if they want to see something.
And we know that that is something that a lot of troops, particularly troops that are from out of council, that they may go traveling every year. They're looking for these types of adventures. So they may want to go to the Football Hall of Fame, or they may want to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, or even to Cedar Point or something like that. We'll be there to help facilitate those activities for them. Now, you got to, of course, pay for those, but there's lots of troops that are more than willing to do that, but there's still a lot of stuff that you can do that's not going to be an added expense in camp. But
there's plenty of stuff on the list.
And it's important just because a lot of these activities may have been offered in the past, but Scouts were never able to take advantage of them because they were doing merit badges. By opening up Wednesday like you've done, you now have the ability to do that and not worry that you're going to miss a merit badge session.
Exactly. So now Scouts feel much more free to go on an out trip or do one of these special things. The other thing it has allowed us to do is with our program for the tenderfoot second class, first class folks.
Adventure Bound.
Adventure Bound, thank you. Yes. So that will still have the traditional component where Scouts are part of a patrol with Scouts from other troops and learn the outdoor skills and some of the other skills necessary for those rank requirements. But in addition to that, with the block scheduling, we now have the ability to take those Adventure Bound Scouts, take them to other areas of camp, and let them try out things at the climbing wall, at the pool, at the lake, at other parts of camp, and really get to experience camp, get a taste of what's in their future as they come in future years to camp, and let them try things out and see what they like.
Some other things that will be happening out there. So some of the program areas, the locations have changed to kind of, if I understood right, to try and concentrate in a more compact area so you're not traipsing all across camp to go between different sessions. Is that
we're moving things around. Yeah, that's a fair way to say it. We're moving a few things around to spaces where they work better at camp. Now, obviously, some things aren't moving. Pool's still where it's going to be. The lake's going to be where it's going to be.
Kind of hard to move a pool.
Right, yes. But some of the other things are moving around. The other thing we're really working on is an upgraded outdoor skills area, maybe more like what it looked like in the 70s. The last time we had a big American anniversary, 76, with some more pioneering structures, lashings, that kind of stuff.
So the theme, if you happen to see it up in the corner of your screen there, is Star Spangled Summer. And there's a couple of special things that are happening this year. I know there's a week-long art contest that's going to be one of the things. But talk about some of the America 250 activities that are happening just for 2026.
Yeah, so we've learned a lot the last few years about doing themes, and we're getting better and better at it. And we're going to take everything we learned and put it into our Star Spangled Summer theme. So, for example, last year was Summer Nights. There was a week-long drama going on at meals with different skits and stuff. We're going to have something similar this year, but along the Star Spangled Summer theme. In addition to that, we're going to have a special Cairn course, which was something that last happened when we had the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, I remember that.
And to get that Cairn badge, you're going to hike the red, white, and blue trails.
Of course you are.
And as well as find 13 special cairns that will be out there as part of the theme.
Okay.
And then finally, all Scouts can earn a Heritage Award. And that Heritage Award will involve earning some merit badges or rank requirements, as well as some service hours to help improve our camp, as well as some exploring camp.
And I saw also in there that adults can also earn this Heritage Award And even though they can't earn merit badges because we're old and they
Yes.
won't let us do that, but there will be opportunities for us to do some of the same things that you would do if you were earning the merit badge as a youth. How's that going to?
So we're coming up with some requirements
Okay.
of things adults can do around training, around more service, around things to help their troops, to show that they're really participating in camp too.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share? I know you brought some notes.
Yeah.
Anything you want to
I think
talk
the main other thing is we have a great staff.
We do.
A good staff is key to a good summer camp program, but we still have a few openings. So if you are an older scout, either 16, 17, or even beyond 18 and into your 20s, we have openings to join us. It's a great way to learn. In particular, you get a lot of training on how to train people. You think we practice the edge method too, but when you've taught a merit badge, you really learn how to train people, which is a skill that helps you throughout your entire life. So if you're interested in being on summer camp staff, you can go to manatoc.org. Look there under residential camps. You'll see a thing around staff applications, and we'd love to have a few more folks join us on camp staff.
And if your troop is still looking for a place to camp, there are still some openings. I know week 1 it looked like is pretty. If it's not full, it's almost full.
But I think we can find spots for anybody.
We can find spots for anybody. So we know that only about 3/4 of our troops end up going to summer camp. So let's try and get that up to 100%. We do have spots still available. We also have spots for provisional campers. So if you want to come back for a second week, or maybe you're not able to go to summer camp the week that your troop is picked because you got band camp or you got football practice or something, but you really want to come to our summer camp, we can accommodate them through the provisional program in weeks 3 and 5, I believe.
I believe so. It's on the website, but that sounds right.
But that sounds about right.
Yeah, so we have a lot of new stuff, but at the end of the day, still summer camp, still have a lot of fun outdoors, still master some new skills, and you build those lifelong friendships when you spend time at camp with somebody.
And if you were at camp last year, the food was much better than the year before. So
and we have the same
food provider. So
coming back.
If you liked last year, which I know a lot of you did based on the surveys that we got back, you're going to like it this year because it's the same food provider. And as long as you have Razorback steak on the one night, I think a lot of us will be happy.
There will be Razorback steak, both the meal and the song.
The meal and the song. We like it more for the song sometimes than we do the meal, but it is always a camp tradition to do that. So, anything else that you want to share?
No, that was it. Thank you, man.
I'm going to look over at Sherry. Do we have anything on our? No questions on our chat. So great. All right. John Judge, as we said, he is the camp master. I'm sorry, not the camp master. You're the camp commissioner for Scouts BSA Summer Camp at Camp Manatoc. So, John, thank you for coming out. We greatly appreciate you being
Vinny.
on, and we'll see you out at camp.
Great, thank you.
All right, let's now take a look at our upcoming events. We have a lot of them coming up. First up, we still have a couple of District Klondike Derbies. The first is the Stambaugh District Klondike Derby, which is this weekend, February 6th to the 8th, out at Camp Stambaugh. As of 8 p.m. on Thursday the 5th, it is still on for this weekend. We did confirm with them that they are still planning on having the camp this weekend. Just as always, be prepared for the weather. Next weekend, February 14th, you get to celebrate Valentine's Day at the Soaring Eagle District Klondike Derby. That is out at Camp Manatoc. And then on March 21st, the Canal District is having a spring camporee for its Scouts BSA troops. That's going to be from 9 to 4 out at Camp Manatoc. Again, that is for Canal District members. And then on Good Friday, April 3rd, it's the annual Good Friday Fish Fry out at the Camp Manatoc Dining Hall. That's from 3 to 6. There is takeout available for those of you that want to take your dinner home with you, or you can eat inside our beautiful historic dining hall. You can sit underneath a moose if you'd like, or one of our other critters of camp. The Scouts BSA Range and Target Sports Days. These are going to be one weekend a month starting on April 11th and going through November 14th. This is also at Camp Manatoc. This is one of the adventure programs. So this is a free event for troops. This, again, is part of the fee. The way that you sign up, there are 4 disciplines to pick from. You'll pick 2 of them to participate in, and it's any combination of archery, shotgun, rifle, or tomahawk throwing. You're going to pick 2 of those, and you get to participate in them during the day out at Camp Manatoc. And again, that's 1 weekend a month, starting in April and going through November. We just talked about summer camp. A couple important dates to note for that. On June 6th at 10 a.m. in Camp Manatoc, it's going to be either in the dining hall or downstairs in the Lewis Conference Center. It hasn't been decided yet which of the 2 it will be, but that is our pre-camp leaders meeting. So every troop that is coming needs to send at least 1 representative to that meeting. You'll learn all about your check-in procedures. You'll also get things like your buddy tags for the pool and the aquatics area, as well as your stickers for your medical forms and things like that, as well as meet all of the camp staff. So that is on June 6th from 10 to noon out at Camp Manatoc. The next day, they are going to be holding pre-camp swim checks. So if you are going to any camp activity this summer, whether that is Cub Day Camp, overnight camp, Scouts BSA Summer Camp, or any of our Cub Scout pool parties, you can do your swim test in advance. That is going to be on Sunday, June 7th from 1 to 4 p.m. out at the Camp Manatoc pool. There are 30-minute time slots that you will sign up for, and registration does fill up. It has filled up and sold out the last couple of years. It's free to do it, but you do need to sign up in advance, and you do need to bring a copy of parts A and B of your medical form with you for that. But once you complete the swim checks, it will be recorded, and then it will get uploaded to your unit's record so that when you do come out to camp, you don't have to go and do that after the group photo over at the flagpole. You can go back to camp or go over to the trading post and have yourself your first slushie of camp. Finally, a post on social media just went out on this today to promote the 2026 National Scout Jamboree. It is coming up July 22nd to the 31st at the Summit Bechtel Reserve in West Virginia. Great Trail Council is sending a family troop contingent. So if you are interested in attending, you can register online and get more information at the address that you see there on screen, gtcscouting.org/calendar-events. All right. Now, up next, we want to share the calendar of upcoming training and to make sure that you have them on your unit calendars to save the date. And I'm going to bring back Jericho Johnson to help discuss these upcoming trainings, because in addition to being the NYLT Course Director, he's changed his neckerchief because Jericho is also our council's training chair. Does this count as a 3rd time now that you've visited? Are we gonna do that?
Sure, why not?
We could do that. All right.
Okay.
3rd time back. So remember, every scout deserves a trained leader. We have a couple of trainings coming up that we want to talk about, and Jericho, feel free to jump in with any comments that you have. But on February 14th, from 8 to 1:30 at St. Matthew Parish in Akron is going to be Scouts BSA position-specific training. So this is position-specific training for scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters, committee chairs, committee members. You can get, that's all of the classroom training, and we know that scoutmasters, assistant scoutmasters will still need a 2nd course, but this is the indoor course for all of those positions. And I know you want to talk about National's push and also our council's push to talk about getting our leaders trained.
Absolutely. So National is pushing, and Great Trail Council has been on board with this as well for years. And we're kind of having to restart it because of changes that occurred with from recharter to unit renewal. We want to get every unit leader and direct contact leader in Great Trail Council trained. So this year in 2026, we will require that the committee chair and the unit leader being the Cub Master or the Scout Master, they must be position trained by unit renewal time in December. And then in 2027, we're requiring the remaining direct contact leaders to all be trained in their position. So direct contact leaders are the Scoutmaster, Assistant Scoutmaster, Cub Master, and Den leaders, and venturing crew
and
crew advisors. Crew advisors. So,
and Skipper Belleville over in
our one skipper.
Our one skipper.
Our one skipper.
He will be thankful that we talked about him today.
And he's already trained. So,
That's right.
So our sea ships are already 100% trained. We just got to get our venturing crews and our Scouts BSA troops to that same mark.
Yeah.
So in 2026, we need our committee chairs and Cub Masters and Scout Masters to complete their online training. Yeah. And one piece of that I'd like to add really quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure your district executives have talked about this, and it's in most of the newsletter emails. There's many of you who are actually trained, except that your weather hazards has expired. Mm-hmm. Now, it is true that years ago, the hazardous weather training was a one and done course. You took it and you were set. Scouting America changed that a few years ago. It's now required to be retaken every 2 years. And we have a number of people in our council who that training has expired. It's been more than 2 years since the last time they took it. They have all their other courses. They just need to retake their hazardous weather to be considered fully trained.
And they may not even know that they
Probably
are
not.
in need of that.
Probably not.
It's not something that automatically pops up like our youth protection training does.
Right. The youth protection was always reliable. The National Scouting website would send you an email 90 days, 60 days, and 30 days before it expired. They never did that with weather hazards. I don't think it still does that yet.
It's supposed to, but I think it still has some bugs.
Yeah, it is.
We talked to IT about that.
Yeah, it isn't working. Mm-hmm. So, but it is now more visible. So when you log on to your My.Scouting account and click on your training, it will list your position, and it will list your SYT, your Safeguarding Youth Training, and it will list your hazardous weather right under that and let you know whether or not it's expired.
Yeah, and that is very important to make sure that is done, because hazardous weather training, just like we talk about at the Cub Scout level with Baloo training, we hammer that home to Cub leaders that whenever you do a camp out, you have to have somebody, at least one person, that's taken Baloo training that is on that camp out. It's also required for hazardous weather training. Anytime you do an outing outside of your regular troop meeting, if you're having a picnic in the park, you still need to have at least one person from your unit at every level that has had hazardous weather training. So we don't hammer that at home as much as we do the Baloo training, but it is equally important, because that's one of the things that's required, and we don't want to have something happen and then have you get in trouble because you did something you shouldn't have and you didn't have anybody that was trained.
The big thing is, and I've had to do this, my troop has had an outing scheduled that at the last minute, we've gotten some severe weather, and we've had to make that tough decision to cancel that event. And no one wants to do that. It's disappointing all around. Mm-hmm. You've prepared and planned, but the safety of you and our scouts is paramount.
Right.
And it's better to cancel that event than risk the potential dangers that might occur to that weather, or completely ruin your event anyway because the weather's so bad that everyone's miserable and you can't enjoy it.
Right. National just this afternoon gave us these posters. I'm going to try and not have any glare.
There you go.
There we go. But it's talking about every scout deserves a trained leader. We're going to have these posters all throughout our council, at our camps, in our scout shops, in our trading post. There's a QR code on here that you'll be able to scan, where you can get more information about training opportunities that are available to you. But as Jericho said, we're emphasizing by the end of 2026, we're requiring that the committee chair and the unit leader for all of our units having completed all of the training that is required for their position. We talked about it a minute ago that we'll be doing next weekend the position-specific training for Scouts BSA. They're also doing the Cub Scout one, I believe, that same weekend, if I recall.
Yes, they are.
So everybody can get that training done. Next thing we want to take a look at is Den Chief training. That's coming up on March 7th from 8:30 to noon at Camp Manatoc. That is a free activity, part of the adventure fee.
Yes, it
Wanna
is.
Talk about that a little.
So den chiefs are one of our most underutilized resources in scouting. For those troops that have active den chiefs that go to Cub Scout packs and help those dens in a pack with their activities, those troops typically see a much higher crossover rate than others. Because what happens is your scout, your teenage Scouts BSA member is down at that Cub Scout level, getting to know those kids, and they look up to them. They learn from them, and they say, oh, I know, and they learn more about our program with that den chief there. And so then they say, I want to go where that kid is. And so we definitely see in units that have good active den chiefs, they are stronger units because they get better crossover rates, and that leads to more retention.
Yeah, I've said they are one of the greatest ambassadors for the
Yes.
program because they're typically only a couple of years apart in age
Right.
from these Cub Scouts, and maybe they were in the pack when these current
Absolutely.
Weebles and Arrow of Lights were lions and tigers and wolves.
And in my opinion, the biggest reason that Arrow of Light Scouts don't cross over to a troop is that they just don't know enough about the program, because it is a different program.
Oh, absolutely.
From Cub Scouts to Scouts BSA, and having that den chief in there gets them comfortable and familiar with what's going on and helps them learn about that. Yes, I think we have
Sherry,
a
we have a question that
We do. Is there an age rank requirement for den chiefs?
There's not an age or rank requirement for a den chief, but I certainly would recommend that they be at least a tenderfoot or second class scout. They need a little bit of experience in the Scouts BSA program and a little bit of maturity before they're going to go down to a Cub Scout pack and be effective. Because when they're at that Cub Scout pack, they're typically paired up with a particular den.
Yes.
And working with that den leader, and they're going to be in charge of running some activities, maybe running a game in that den or helping with the activity or craft or whatever it is they're doing.
Right.
So they need a little bit of maturity to be able to fulfill that role.
Yeah, and that's not to say that a troop can't have an age or a rank requirement for some of
Correct.
those very reasons that you just said. That
Right.
They know that they want them to have a little bit of maturity, or a few months
Right.
or years under their belt before they go in there, because they
Yeah.
need to understand the Scouts BSA program a little in order to
Right.
to do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Any other questions, Sherry, before we go?
Yes, another question. Can they start any time in the scout year?
Yes, they can become a den chief and start doing that anytime during the year. We highly encourage them to take the den chief training, because that training is geared to giving them information and ideas on what their role is as a den chief and activities that they can do with the Cub Scouts. And we also encourage the adult leaders, particularly the den leaders, to take the den chief training so they understand what that den chief is there to do. They're not there to necessarily be there every week at your meeting. They might be there once a month or twice a month at your meeting. They're there to be an assistant.
Yeah, and it's important to note that the den chief training is offered online, but we like the in-person version just because it gives an opportunity to have some interaction and some discussion that you can't do just watching a video.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if for some reason you can't make it, at the very least, take the online. But it really is a good idea to take the in-person half-day training. Any other questions, Sherry, before we go? All right, we're good with that. All right, we've talked about it a little bit. We've got Wood Badge coming up April 17th to the 19th at Camp Manatoc, and May 16th to the 17th at Camp Butler. You have to attend both sessions, so you have to make sure that you can commit to both those weekends. You can't leave early one day because your kid's got a softball game or something like that. You've got to be committed for the entire 5 days, and it's a full 5 days for that. The price there, you can see, it's $315 per person. That early bird pricing ends in about a week and a half on the 16th. Again, there is financial assistance available. So whether you're coming to NYLT, Wood Badge, summer camp, Cub Day, there's financial assistance available. We don't want finances to become an obstacle to participating in any of these events. Anything you want to talk about with Wood Badge? I mean, everybody in the room has gone through it here tonight.
Yes. Wood Badge is an advanced leadership training. The thing that sometimes is unknown about it, or that people think, oh, that's just a scouting thing. It's advanced leadership training. We present it in a scouting theme, and a scouting, we're modeling a troop and the patrol method, but these are leadership skills that can help you in your personal life and your professional life. I have known past participants who've gotten advancements in their careers because they took this leadership course. Wood Badge is an internationally recognized leadership training course. You're going to learn how to manage other people. You're going to learn how to deal with conflict and difficult situations, difficult conversations, we call that. You're also going to learn how to look at yourself to identify what your strong points and weak points are, so that you know how to help lead others. You're also going to learn, one of the great things in Wood Badge is the session on the DISC method, where you're learning how to identify the strengths and weaknesses of others so that you can put your team members in the right positions.
And we always talk about it when we're in a discussion. I used to be a Bob White. You used to be
I'm a bear.
You used to be a bear. So yeah, that's something that'll go with you the rest of your life. Once you've done it, is the patrol that you're in is going to be named after an animal, and you will be that. We're not going to sing the song tonight. And then don't worry.
But those skills, like I said, they work in your personal life, they work in your professional life, and they're great in your scouting life. Because what you learn in Wood Badge also helps you become a better mentor and leader to our youth in your unit.
And there are many corporations that recognize the value of the Wood Badge program.
Absolutely.
It's right up there with Six Sigma and some of those other types, 5S, some of those other types of leadership development courses that many companies will help pay for.
Some of them will give you the time off, because it's a 3-day weekend, so you have to take a Friday off, and the second weekend is just Saturday and Sunday. But some companies will pay for the course. Some companies will give you a free day off for that Friday.
Yeah, because they've realized
because they're going to get a benefit from your advanced skills.
Yeah. All right. Up next is IOLS training, Introduction to Outdoor Leadership Skills. This is what's called the outdoor portion of the Scoutmaster / Assistant Scoutmaster training. So you need the position-specific training as well as IOLS and hazardous weather to be considered position trained for a Scoutmaster or Assistant Scoutmaster. That's going to be April 25th and 6th at Camp Stambaugh. If you're not able to make that session, it is going to be offered October 16th and 17th over at Camp Manatoc. Also, if you can't make any of those dates, it is going to be offered at
every week.
Summer camp every week. So you can do the position-specific training and you can do the IOLS training at Manatoc Summer Camp. So that's another opportunity to do it. You're already there. Yeah, you're going to have to get out of your hammock. You're going to have to miss maybe a nap or two, but you can go and you can have a great time, and it works out really well. You'll get to raise the flag one Sunday night. You'll do the flag ceremony.
Dutch oven cooking, everyone's favorite.
You'll be the judge at the Dutch oven cook-off. Hopefully you'll...
No, you'd have to do the cooking.
Oh, you do the cooking. I thought
right, we get to be the judges.
Okay.
They get to cook. That's part of the one of the skills.
Okay. I just participate and then eat all the food.
That's right. Monday Dutch oven night, Dutch oven cooking night is the best night to go out to summer camp.
If you've never been to it before, eat light in the dining hall that night because you're going to eat well over at the Dutch oven cook-off. All right, and then we talked about it earlier, National Youth Leadership Training, NYLT, that's June 7th through the 12th out at Camp Stambaugh. And let's clarify from the question that we had earlier regarding boys and girls courses and because you offered it offered it one way last year, and we're talking about potentially doing it differently this year.
So the question wasn't, I may have misinterpreted the question, but last year we consider it one course, and there was a troop for boys and a troop for girls on that one course. And last year it was split over 2 weekends, about a month apart. We're essentially doing the same thing this year. There's still one course. Boys and girls can sign up, but it's the week-long course, Sunday through Friday.
Which is what
And-
typically that's the typical
Right.
course.
So in the past, we've NYLT has modeled the linked troop method because that's what troops were. If you were either a single gender troop or a linked troop. With the new family troop model that has just been released, you can have the difference there is in a linked troop model, you had patrols of boys and patrols of girls. They were not mixed gender patrols. They were separate patrols. In the family troop model, whether it's your home unit or at NYLT, that you're allowed to have mixed gender patrols. Now that's what I was talking about earlier. That's what I thought they were asking earlier, that we're still deciding. So that is going to be required. National requires us to transition to the family troop model and have mixed gender patrols in 2027.
Now,
it's optional for this year.
Will they be exclusively mixed gender patrols, or
No.
could you have a combination of all
No,
three?
actually, the Nationals model is very flexible, just like they offer for troops. So
Okay.
if your troop is a family troop, you can have single gender patrols, you can have a couple single gender patrols, and a couple of mixed gender patrols. I know a unit in Stowe that has 2 single gender boy patrols and then 1 mixed gender patrol, some boys and girls, just because of the number of females that they have, the number of scouts that they have. NYLT gets the same options. So we can have mix and match however we need in 2027.
So that, and that's important, I think, to point out to everybody that we're not being forced to say that we are going exclusively with a mixed gender patrol, that it's still going to be a combination of different types.
And our plan, even in 2027, is to try to take the unit that the youth is coming from, into account. So if the participants in 2027 are coming from a boy-only troop, they'll probably be put into a boy-only patrol. If they're coming from a family troop, they may end up in a mixed gender patrol, which models what they're already doing in their own unit.
Yeah, and you guys do a really good job of mixing and putting the right people in the right patrols. I mean, you do that for Wood Badge too, and I don't know how you did it, but I mean it works great.
There's some secret sauce behind that, but we also, and NYLT has done this for years, we typically have 2 troop guides with each of our patrols in most cases. The only exceptions to that is sometimes a more experienced staffer, say a second or third year staffer wants to be a guide, they can guide by themselves, be a troop guide by themselves for a particular patrol. But typically there's two guides for a patrol, so they have 2 experienced staffers with them at all times.
Okay. All right.
There is one more thing that I want to bring up about training.
Absolutely.
So as we were talking about weather hazards earlier, hazardous weather training that is now required every 2 years, all of us have had to deal with the change from YPT to SYT within the last year. So our youth protection training has now become the safeguarding youth training, SYT. And the other difference is that a lot of people are still catching up on. In the past, YPT was required every 2 years that you had to renew it. With the new course, it's now required every single year. And when National implemented the course, they cut off everybody's expiration date at May 31st, 2026. So if you happen to take the old YPT course in April of 2025 and your expiration date was April of 2027, when they release this course, they reset your expiration date to May 31st, 2026. So right now in our council, we have probably about 50%, the last time I looked at the numbers, 50% of our adult leaders who currently expire on May 31st, 2026, and they may not realize that they didn't get that extra time from when they took the YPT course, that their expiration date changed. So that's something that's going to be very important because, as you know, if your SYT expires, you will get dropped from the from registration, from the roster. And that would be really bad for all of our troops and all of our youth if half of our adult leaders all dropped off on May 31st because they didn't realize that their expiration date had changed.
Well, and it's also important to remember, too, that for those of us that have spent longer than, I don't know, 5 seconds on any Scouting America website, especially the training, you know that there can be glitches. We also know that there are going to be literally hundreds of thousands of people trying to take SYT in the month of May.
Absolutely.
So if you want to take it earlier, you certainly can, and that will help spread out the expirations so that we're not all trying to take it in the month of May when we know that there's going to be lots of traffic to those poor servers wherever they happen to be in Texas.
And I definitely want to say I've been in scouting since 2011, so I've taken the old YPT course many times. The new Safeguarding Youth training is head and shoulders so much better than the old course. Actual good information, good examples of what to do and how to recognize things. It's a great course.
Yeah.
And now, while they promise that in subsequent years there's going to be a shorter, your renewal video will be shorter than the 90 minutes that this one is, that hasn't come out yet. So if you did take the new SYT right away last year,
if you take it now, you're still going to get
if you take it today,
you're still going to get the full 90-minute video.
It's still the full 90-minute course.
But
they're supposed to be releasing that in May for the second.
That's what I saw. Starting in May, they'll have the refresher course available, which is only supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes as opposed to the full 90 minutes that the full course takes.
So hazardous weather and safeguarding youth training. Please look at your account, log into my.scouting, see what your expiration date is right there on the main screen, and renew those.
All right.
Thanks, Vinny.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Jericho, for coming back on. I'm going to look over to Sherry real quick. Do we have any other questions? No questions. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank our guests for tonight and everyone who helped behind the scenes. Apologies to all of you for that glitch that we had in the middle there. Not sure what happened with our computer connection, but we lost signal for a few minutes. But I guess that's what you get when you're doing this live. Thank you for watching. Our next Cub Scout Roundtable will be on Thursday, March 5th. And our next Scouts BSA Roundtable will be on Thursday, April 2nd, all right here, beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube Live. Now, to close out tonight, we have one of my favorite videos from the National Council showing Scouts in action. Feel free to use this video and others that we have in your unit's promotional materials and at open houses to show prospective families some of the fun activities that they can do in Scouting. Thank you for all you do for Scouting. We'll see you on the trail. Good night, everyone.
Take a picture, make it last. So when the moment passes by, we'll remember why. We laughed so hard, we nearly cried. They must have thought we lost our minds.
It's really just learning how to work together with people and pushing myself outside of my comfort zone, trying things I never really would or even think of doing.
I like being a Cub Scouts. They give you more opportunities to do things than you wouldn't get to if you were not in Boy Scouts.
It's a way for youth to really explore themselves and what they're passionate about.
The older you get, the more you do. And I just want to keep doing more.
Scouting's just a wonderful organization. And I can tell you right now that my life would be very different if I didn't know about it.